Testing, testing. 1, 2. Did it work? Okay, cool. So, today we're going to be playing green-white auras in Pioneer. Basically centered around stacking as many ethereal armors and all that glitters onto a creature with hexproof that is a 1-drop or a 2-drop. We're kind of low on hexproof creatures in the Pioneer format that are cheap. It's nowhere near as good as modern Bogles. But we do have a Danto Vanguard as a sort of Boggle. This version only plays green and white. There is an argument to play blue for things like Curious Obsession, but this is not that deck. So, I think without any further ado, we're going to take this into a Pioneer League and see how we do. I did get in a few test matches with this one, and I felt that the deck was powerful enough to play. Like, it's kind of matchup dependent. If you go against blue-white control and they're main decking 4 Settle the Wreckage and things like that, you're going to have a bad time. But actually, Settle the Wreckage is one of the only cards that this deck really struggles with, because a Danto Vanguard can just man mode through all the wraths. Alright, so we're going up to round 1. We'd love to play first. This hand's a little slow, but I think it's worth keeping. We do have a hexproof creature that we can cast and an ethereal armor. We just need to draw some auras.
Well, go get it.
Okay, so we'll play a Fortified Village tapped, pass the turn. Opponent plays an island. We draw a Sun Petal Grove. So we'll play a Fortified Village, reveal a forest, and play a Basara Tower Archer. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Glacial Fortress. We untap. We draw a Cartouche of Solidarity. So we're going to play a Forest. Then we're going to play an Ethereal Armor. Then we're going to play a Cartouche. Get a 1/1. And attack for 5. Opponent goes to 15. Opponent cycles an Irrigated Farmland and plays a Field of Ruin. Alright, we untap. We draw a Season of Growth. I guess there's an argument to play that pre-combat, because we can potentially get in for 1 more point of damage. So I'm going to play it now. We don't have any other auras. Okay. So we'll hit him for 7. Okay, opponent is drawing a card. That gives us a bit of information. We're not going to play out our last Basara Tower Archer, simply because our opponent is trying to Wrath. And we'd like a creature in hand to potentially reload with. Okay, we draw an Unflinching Courage. So we're going to go ahead and attack for 7. Opponent has an Omen of the Sea. Okay, well they were playing like they had Settled the Wreckage, so I think we still made the correct choice, even though this offsets... How did they... Put 2 cards on the bottom. Okay. Well, we'll play a Temple Garden. Opponent Omens of the Sea again. They're really digging for a Wrath. They put 1 card on the bottom and 1 card on the top, so it looks like they found it. They play an island. And Supreme Verdict. Alrighty. We'll pass to our turn. We draw a Gift of Orzhova. So we'll play the Tower Archer. Scry 1. We'll keep that on top. You never know, we might need another one. So we'll play an Unflinching Courage and draw a card. Just in case they find a second Wrath on their next draw. They had to dig very far to get the first one. Okay, opponent plays an island. And scoops it up. We got there. Excellent. So versus control, especially with destruction effects, I think we bring in Sheltering Lights. We could bring in Gideons of the Trial, but I don't think that's correct. Okay, so we're going to take out probably a Cartouche of Solidarity, a Unflinching Courage isn't as important in this matchup, so I think we're going to cut Unflinching Courage and try and go lower to the ground there. Like, we still want some in the deck, because Lifelink and Trample could be relevant, especially if they're playing a version that creates tokens, maybe off of an Elspeth. I ran into one of those in the practice queues earlier and was glad I kept them in. Okay, so we have a SRAM, we have some Adanto Vanguards. We'll keep this hand. Okay, opponent starts Hollowed Fountain. Keep dropping it on my foot, demanding that he play, or that I play with him. So Glade Cover Scout is the best possible start for this deck, so we are going to play Glade Cover Scout. Opponent plays a Glacial Fortress. We draw Unflinching Courage. We'll play a Sun Petal Grove, and I think we're just going to get in for 1. Okay. And we're going to play an Adanto Vanguard this turn. Cool. It didn't get countered. Opponent plays a Monastery Mentor. Okay. Come on, land. It's an Ethereal Armor. That's pretty good. So we're going to put Griff's Boon on our Glade cover. Them committing a Monastery Mentor to the board tells me they probably don't have a Wrath. But we're going to hold up Sheltering Light anyway. Okay, opponent takes 5. Keeping Ethereal Armor in hand lets us SRAM and draw a card as well, potentially. Okay, opponent plays an island. They do not attack. Okay, we draw Sun Petal Grove. So play Sun Petal Grove, and go to combat. Attack, attack. No blocks from our opponent. We'll play another Adanto Vanguard. Okay, opponent Sinister Sabotage. They're going to counter the Vanguard. That's fair. Nothing we can do about that. It's not like we're running Silence. Okay, we'll pass. Opponent plays a Plains. Monastery Mentor number 2 for our opponent. Opponent attacks for 3. Sounds good. Okay, we'd like to draw another 1-mana aura. Okay, Basara Tower Archer. So they're probably not going to Wrath with 2 Mentors on board. And they could have an Azorius Charm here. So I think we play Unflinching Courage on Glade Cover Scout. If they have a Dovin's Veto, then it's kind of whatever, but... Okay. Go attacking. Hit him for 7. Okay. Azorius Charm to draw a card. I would have expected they would have hit the Vanguard with that, but... then they wouldn't have to sacrifice a token and their clock might be faster. But if our opponent's done better math than I have, then I have no reason to doubt them. Opponent trades. They have 3 cards in hand. They'll have 4 active creatures. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have to cast 2 spells to kill us? No, we're not going to pay. We're actually just going to trade. I think this changes the combat math a little bit. They pretty much have to Wrath to get rid of that Glade cover, or they have to have enough counter spells to prevent it from being lethal. And this is their only turn they can Wrath safely. You are just fine. Alright, there's Teferi. Teferi could tuck one of our auras, namely Unflinching Courage. Yep. Oh, tucks Griffspoon. Interesting. Alright, we take a lot. Go to 9. We draw a Fortified Village, which is pretty bad here. Let's see. So it's the third card down. We don't know what the second card in our deck down is. If we play Ethereal Armor, that's +2/+2 and first strike. That's just short of killing them. We can SRAM Ethereal Armor to draw. That doesn't necessarily feel good. I think we just play Ethereal Armor and Fortified Village tapped and attack them for 6. Or 5, excuse me. Okay, opponent jumps with both tokens. Goes to 2. They have a Castle Ardenvale. Draw a card. We could also potentially, at their end step, Sheltering Light. Or we could Sheltering Light right now to scry the last card above the Griffspoon out of the way. So let the triggers resolve. We'll just do this now. Because Griffspoon lets us kill them if it doesn't get countered. Oh, it was on top, excuse me. Or maybe that's a second one. I'm not sure. There might be a second one. They bounce Unflinching Courage. I've lost track of the top of my deck, and if I were a better player, I wouldn't. But I think we have 2 Griffspoons on top of our deck. Because we've only drawn 1 card since, and it was Fortified Village. And this is supposed to put it into the 3rd from the top. So we're going to play SRAM. Griffspoon. We draw Griffspoon. It resolves. We'll cast a second one. They have to have a flash flyer. And they don't. We got them. Alright, round 1. Down and in our favor. Moving on to round 2. And blue-white's kind of a bad matchup. But for the blue-white decks that favor Supreme Verdict instead of Settle the Wreckage, we actually have a somewhat decent matchup. Alright, seems to be a fairly decent opening hand. We'll keep. Opponent is mono red. They get in for 1. We take it. We would like to get an Unflinching Courage or a Gift of Orzhova, which I think would make this like unwinnable for our opponent unless they have mono Skullcracks. But okay, we draw a Forest. So play a Temple Garden tapped. No 1-drops, unfortunately. Opponent plays a Mountain. Plays an Abbot of Carol Keep, revealing a Mutavault that they can't play. They get in for 1. This could be also like mono red prowess. Okay, we draw Sun Petal Grove. So play Sun Petal Grove and play a Danto Vanguard. Opponent plays Castle Embereth. Opponent goes attacking. No blocks. They're gonna Lightning Strike our face. Sure. So we're taking 8. We draw Forest. Play a Forest. Play Sentinel's Eyes. Play All That Glitters. Go to combat. Attack for 6. Opponent has no blockers. They have a Torbran. We're losing the same amount of life whether or not this hits us. So we're going to block and pay. We really need an Unflinching Courage right off the top here. Sentinel's Eyes. Well, I mean, we'll reveal a Forest. Play Adanto Vanguard number 2. We'll put another Sentinel's Eyes on this one. Go to combat. Get in for 8. Opponent no blocks, goes to 6. Alright, let's see if they've got it. Abbot of Carol Keep, okay. They get to impulse draw 1 card. It is a Ramanop Ruins. That's kind of bad for us, because that represents 4 damage with Torbran on the field. But we should get one more opportunity to draw a lifelink aura. of some kind. We have 6 in the deck, which is a little better than a 1 in 10, but I don't think it's quite 1 in 9 chance we draw one. The opponent has Wild Slash. That's 4 damage to us. Okay. Alright, lifelink aura or bust. Or Griff's Boon would kill them. That is none of those things. Yep, they block. And I don't see any reason to show them more of our deck. We will concede. Drat, we were so close. With Griff's Boon, that was like a 1 in 4 chance of actually drawing an aura that just kills them. So versus Burn, Mastery of the Unseen seems kind of funny. We definitely want some Knights of Autumn. Warbrier's Blessing as a way to remove Dorks seems pretty good too. Maybe we want Gideon of the Trials. It's more that our opponent has to burn down. And we're going to go down, I think, at least 1 Tower Archer. All that glitters is good, but it's worse than our usual, I think, auras. This is kind of a little tough. SRAM just dies to, like, everything they have. And he might not even get to cantrip. But we might need all the creatures we can get. Maybe we don't bring in Warbriar Blessing. Adanto Vanguard also is like very life heavy. So it's 11 creatures versus our usual a lot more. Master of the Unseen seems like it might be for this matchup. This isn't my list originally. Yeah, I don't know what to cut, but we'll run 61. Because we're playing a deck based on consistency and we want to remove as much of it as possible. Alright, love to play first. No creature, but we do have a Cartouche. I think we have to mulligan, though. We need a dude of some kind. Alright, we'll keep this. It's a little better. Still not amazing. We're going to put back a Fortified Village. Maybe if we get a big first striker out there fast. We'll play a Fortified Village, play a Forest, and Glade Cover. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Mountain. We draw a Sun Petal Grove, so we'll play a Forest. And let's go Cartouche. Get a 1/1. Attack for 2. Opponent goes to 18. Opponent plays a Mountain and a Carry Zev, Skyship Raider. There's Unflinching Courage. So let's get our Glade Cover huge, and next turn we'll play Unflinching Courage, because here it kind of makes it a option to block for them. Next turn, we're going to get in for so much damage. Opponent has a Goblin Chain Whirler, takes out our 1/1 blocker. The attack with Carry Zev, we block Ragavan. Okay. We draw a Cartouche, but we're not going to worry about playing that, so we slam this Unflinching Courage. Go to combat. Attack for 9. First strike them to 3, go up to 27. And our opponent scoops it up. Very important to have a 1-drop if you can. That game really expresses the difference between, like, the two. I think I'm going to cut... I want 1 Adanto Vanguard back in the deck, just because, like, not having a creature would feel so horrible. And I'm going to cut that Warbrier's Blessing. That might actually be... This might actually be the matchup we want that for, but, like, I think we just need to maximize the chance of having a creature and just find Unflinching Courage on it. Knight of Autumn might not be what we need to bring in either. Close. No creature, so we're going to mulligan. No creature still. We're going to mulligan. We can make this work. We'll keep. So we're going to put 2 cards back. We're going to put back Fortified Village and Cartouche. Opponent starts Mountain. It looks like they're going to have a much faster hand than last game. They get in for 1. We go to 19. We draw all that glitters. So we play a Forest. The bad news is our creature does not have evasion, so he could very likely eat a shock here. Okay, opponent wild slashes our face. That means it's less likely our opponent has a shock. It's way less likely our opponent has a shock. Good lord. They do get in for a bunch of damage here, though. They hit us for a total of 7. We're down to 12. I feel much better about casting Saram, but they could still have another removal spell. The problem with Burn is it's very versatile. I'm kind of expecting a Lightning Strike. Stomp, okay. That really sucks, but at the same time, like, we couldn't go to, like, 3. Okay, opponent hits us for 2, we go to 10. Creature, please. That is not a creature, so we play Temple Guardian tapped. Pass the turn. We had 3 full draws of 7 to find 1 creature. Maybe I boarded out too many. Opponent gets in for 1, we go to 9. Creature. No! Not like this. The good news is, if we draw any of our hexproof creatures, we can immediately stick Unflinching Courage on it, so long as we're not dead this turn. Okay. Opponent hits us for 2. They only have 2 cards left in hand, so they're probably casting the Giant this turn. Like, we could just rip a Glade cover right off the top. It'd be amazing. Okay, there's the Giant. Oh, so close. We'll play Sun Petal Grove. We're dead to any non-creature spell. Opponent leaves the Giant back. What is happening? I guess if they have a Lightning Strike, this guarantees they could have a blocker. But they have to have 2 spells. We go to 1. Why not just attack with the Giant? Like, so play Basara Tower Archer. Play Unflinching Courage. Oh, they just were slow rolling us? Whatever. Like, you had it in like 9 different ways. You could have just attacked with a Giant and shocked. Like, there was no reason to play that way. But whatever. Because, like, the only fog in Pioneer that would prevent non-combat damage, there's like 2. Because I don't think Safe Passage is, but Riot Control is in. And there might be another one, but if there is, it's a 3-mana fog. And it's probably a white one. Yeah, no, it's if you're in that situation, just kill your opponent. You're not gonna get mana tithe. This is Pioneer, like. All right, moving on to round 3. That was very winnable. It was unfortunate that Sram was our only creature there. All right, we'll play first. This seems doable, but it's gonna be a weird sequencing for mana here. We're against Team Greed. Okay. So in order to play Basara Tower Archer on turn 2, we have to start with a turn 1 Sun Petal Grove tapped. Pass to our opponent. Opponent plays an Irrigated Farmland, so this is likely blue-white control again. We'll play Fortified Village, reveal Plains, and play Basara Tower Archer. We'd like to draw some Ethereal Armors. Opponent plays an Island and passes. We draw All That Glitters. So we're going to start All That Glitters in case of a Censor and Griff's Boon. Go to combat, hit them for 5. If we could rip an Ethereal Armor off the top, this would be the nuts. Opponent thinking hard about that Hallowed Fountain. Tapped. Okay. I think we're just going to hold on to the Gift of Orzhova. Our opponent probably has a Supreme Verdict. Okay, Fabled Passage. Opponent cracks it. And they play an island. They have a verdict. Okay. We need a creature. Well, there's a creature. Play Basara Tower Archer. Play Sun Petal Grove. And we'll go ahead and Gift of Orzhova. Pass the turn. Kind of relying on our opponent not having a second Wrath. Okay, opponent plays a Field of Ruin. Play a Forest. We'll go ahead and activate Griff's Boon. It's not cast, so it can't be countered. We'll attack for 4 in the air. Watch them deploy and get 2 Thopters to block. Alright, take them to 6. Okay, they Field of Ruin a Sun Petal Grove. We'll get a Forest. We have a ton of auras that just killed them. Like Unflinching Courage, All That Glitters, Ethereal Armor. Opponent had another Wrath. Okay, that's pretty bad. Alrighty. Now we're in a bad spot. because our opponent will have open counter magic for the next creature we top deck. And we don't... It's not like we could Cavern of Souls or anything. So we're going to pass. Okay, opponent digs through time. Not winning game 1 versus control is pretty bad. This deck sort of relies on the surprise factor. Okay, opponent plays a Teferi Time Raveler. Minuses, they're going to draw. We'll keep playing it out, but I got a bad feeling about this one. It's not like we can Storm Herald and then run them over. Like, okay, they plus Teferi, they play a land. We draw Glade Cover. Well, we'll try Glade Cover. Yeah, okay. They got us. Well, the good news is we'll be on the play for game 2. Sheltering Lights in. I'll try bringing in a Mastery of the Unseen. It's something that we could like maybe sneak down early to repeatedly make creatures with. And Rest in Peace is kind of tempting, but I don't think it's good enough. So what do we cut? Well, I think we cut Sram, actually. As like, I know we want creatures because our opponent's going to Wrath, but we're more focused on protecting the creatures we're going to have. And like I said, Unflinching Courage not as important in this matchup, so we're gonna sideboard those out. Hey Shembliss, how's it going? Remember me? We'll play first. Adanto Vanguard. All right, we're keeping. This is happening. You gotta lend me your energy for this one, because this is deck that loses to blue-white control versus blue-white control. Opponent plays a Plains. Come on, something good, something good. What do we draw? Temple Garden. Play a Plains, play a Adanto Vanguard, pass the turn. Opponent draws. Plays an island. Okay, they are telegraphing that Azorius Charm hard. So we're going to go to combat. We're going to attack. Opponent just takes it. Play Temple Garden tapped. Play Adanto Vanguard number 2. Pass the turn. Opponent's got an island. We draw Adanto Vanguard number 3. It's Vanguard Tron. Get in for 6. Opponent goes to 11. Play a Vanguard. Play a Cartouche of Solidarity. Alright, they censor. That's fine. Well, if they Wrath, we just lose 12 life. And nothing else happens. Castle Ardenvale. Supreme Verdict. This gets indestructible. And this gets indestructible. And this gets indestructible. Okay. Unflinching Courage kills our opponent. Woo! That worked out better than expected. There was a million ways that could have gone wrong for us. Are they typing me an angry chat message? Oh, no, it just took them a while to do the math. Alrighty then. Okay, we just need a good setup for game 3 and we'll win. It was good because we didn't have to show them Sheltering Light. So they still don't know we have that. And this deck I don't think is that common. It's kind of a deck that hates itself out. If there's too much of it, people are just going to like run Settle the Wreckage and you're going to get wasted. Or like Edicts if they're running black. Alright, we got a Vanguard. We got to keep. I'm not going to risk mulliganing for a creature that may never come. Vanguard number 2 makes this hand just a little bit better. So we'll start Temple Garden, pass. Opponent going to play a Castle Vantress, sure. Draw an Unflinching Courage, so play a Fortified Village, reveal a Plains, and throw this Vanguard into the incoming Censor. No Censor! Surprise, surprise. Okay. They opt. And opt again. Opponent windmill slams a mentor. Okay, we draw Sun Petal Grove, so we're going to play a Sun Petal Grove. Play Vanguard number 2, and we're going to give this one flying. Get in for 4. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains. They are going to seal away. Sure. They take out Vanguard. That's some pretty good tech versus us, I think. We're not going to block, because we need this guy to live. Okay, Forest. Play a Plains. Play Unflinching Courage. We're going to have to just go all in on this and hope our opponent doesn't have a another Seal Away or Azorius Charm. Attack for 5. Actually make that 7. They had the Azorius Charm. That's game. How unfortunate. Could have been winnable. Both of these matches were like right on the edge of being winnable or not being winnable. Or they were definitely winnable, excuse me. We got slightly unlucky, both of them. Like, we could just as easily be 3-0 as 1-2 right now. We'll be going into round 4 as soon as people decide they want to play against us. Alright, round 4. Would love to play first. No creatures, we got a mulligan. Alright, we're gonna try this. Put back a forest. Start Temple Garden tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent is playing some variant of white. We draw a Glade Cover Scout. Place Rom. We actually probably should have played Season of Growth, because then we could play Srom and Grifspoon and draw 2 cards, and that'd be really sweet. I mean, it still works this way, it's just less likely to work. But it plays an Anafenza Kintree Spirit. This looks like it might be mono-white Heliod. So, what's happening? Okay, play Season of Growth, play Grifspoon, draw 2 cards. Attack for 3. Opponent gets in for 3. Sure. We go to 17. Stasis Snare hitting Srom. Okay. That's not too bad, as long as we draw an aura. Sun Petal Grove. We'll play Fortified Village. Tapped. Play a Danto Vanguard and Glade Cover Scout. We get to go Scrying. Glade Cover to the bottom. Forest to the bottom. Okay, pass the turn. Mono-white Devotion, it appears. Opponent's going to cast something big and scary. Baffling End to take out Vanguard. There's the Walking Ballista. It looks like we're going to be too slow this game. If they have a Heliod, they're just going to win. Like, unless we chain Ethereal Armor, draw Ethereal Armor, draw Ethereal Armor, and kill them, like, it's just not going to happen, I don't think. We get a Tower Archer. We can't attack unless we Grifspoon out of the grave, and I don't really want to do that. So we're going to play Archer. Get a Scry. Plains to the bottom. Play Vanguard. Get a Scry. Forest to the bottom. Wow, we've gone a long ways into the deck without drawing another aura. It's kind of demoralizing. Okay, opponent pings down Danto Vanguard as we expected them to. They play a Knight of the White Orchid. They might get to tutor Plains here if they have less lands than us, and they do. They get an Idyllic Grange, putting a 1/1 counter on Walking Ballista. Hey, Joe West, how's it going? We're playing Bogles, and we're 1-2 when we should be 3-0. Like, we've lost to some annoying variants. But never let it get you down. Alright, Cartouche. So play Cartouche. I'm trash right now. I know, right? This whole deck was like 30 tickets total. And I actually like put more money into it to get SRAM in there just because I wanted SRAM. Yeah, we get to Scry. All that glitters, unfortunately, we cannot cast. Put it on the bottom. Go Unflinching Courage. We get a Basara Tower Archer. Okay. We'll go attacking. Gotta try and gain some life somehow. Go up to 13. I probably should have left that all that glitters on top. 8 mana, so they're going to make their Walking Ballista quite large. Yep, 1/1 counter on Walking Ballista. So we'll just F6. If they get Heliod, they just win. Lots of mana. There's Heliod. Yeah, we'll just tell them they win. Okay. So versus Heliod. You deserve this based on your deck choice. If it makes you feel any better, they're also in the 1-2 bracket. Which tells us their deck is not doing very well in the metagame. Our deck should be 3-0, but we lost to like the 3rd or 4th Shock versus Red on our only SRAM. It was bad. I don't think there's anything we can bring in to actually make us go faster, so we're just going to run it back as is and hope we have a really fast hand. I might build a 3-color version of this, simply because I'm looking forward to adding some of the blue auras in here. Or maybe I'll finally build that Sage of Hours Jank combo. Like Sage of Hours Heroic. Oh, okay. Well, I've got a couple of ideas for altars to do for you. If I can find a copy of Battle Wits, I'd be happy to alter it. It just depends on whether or not I can find one. Otherwise, I have a couple of backup silly ideas. So, all right, we'll play first. This is, I think, about as fast as we can get without like multiple ethereal armors in our hand. So we're gonna keep. Alrighty, start Glade Cover. Pass the turn. We draw another Griff Spoon, so play a Plains. Go to combat, get in for 1. Play Season of Growth. Pass the turn. Opponent plays an Anafenza. We draw Gift of Orzova. So play Griff Spoon, hopefully we draw land. That is not a land. But we'll get in for 2. Opponent plays a Plains. Daxos. They get in for 3. We draw Griff's Boon. So, Sentinel's Eyes. Come on, white land. Nope. Kind of choked on mana right now. Get in for 3. Opponent plays a Castle Ardenvale into a Heliod the Sun-Crowned. If they've got Walking Ballista next turn, we just instantaneously lose, as we have no way to interact with our opponent. Okay, we'll take 7. We draw an Unflinching Courage that we cannot cast. Alright, yeah, I'll probably up it then. Or I might wait to send you them until you redeem multiple. Just because I don't have a lot of time to be doing altars, so I'll probably bump it up. Okay. Land. Land, please. We did not get a land. Wow. Okay. Get in for 4 in the air. So I think our next 2 draws have to be Plains and Ethereal Armor, and our opponent cannot have a Walking Ballista. Okay, opponent bolsters. I'll do it. Don't make me do it. Don't you dare Walking Ballista me. Alright. It's just an owl. False alarm. But they're gonna reveal it. I just know it. Stasis Snare, okay. Opponent attacks for a lot. Seismic Swans? It's not a combo I was super into. I would much rather do silly... I love Seismic Assault. Let me make that clear. Absolutely love Seismic Assault. Seismic Swans is not really my game. Do we have to play Unflinching Courage here to stay alive? I think we do. That would gain us 6. We go to 8. This is going to be at least 7. If they attack with anything that this can block, we'll gain more. Yeah, I think we have to play this. I think not playing all that glitters was a mistake. We get a Fortified Village. Get in for 6. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Swans combo. Just because I would like to shock my opponent to death rather than shock Swans until I can shock my opponent to death. I actually used to have a pretty sweet list that used Seismic Assault. I'll have to see if I can find it and if it can be updated. I actually like grinding with Seismic Assault. I like Assault Loam. I would rather win than do things and then win. Woo! Bone Daddy subscribed for a grand total of 12 months. The biggest stream patron. Thank you so much. You're a wonderful human being. We are, it looks like, losing to just fair beats from Heliod combo, but we were choked on mana for so long. And we were drawing extra cards and everything. Hey, no worries, man. Alright, so we should be 3-1 right now instead of 1-3. Let's see if we can at least recover, what is it, 50 play points? Yeah, 50 play points. I think this deck has much better potential than what I'm showing with it. Like, if Once Upon a Time was legal, could you imagine? Like, getting a free impulse for a Boggle? I mean, there might be more broken things you could do with that, but... Alright, we cannot keep that hand. This hand is quite a bit better, actually. We'll keep. We have to put a card back. We're going to put back Griff Spoon. Start Temple Garden, tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains. We draw a Glade Cover. Moto? Moto, please. Okay. We're going to play Basara Tower Archer. Oh, great. This deck again. Play a Plains. Play Sram. Play Ethereal Armor. Draw a card. Attack for 3. Pass the turn. Knight of the White Orchid. Opponent gets to ramp. Because ramping belongs in mono white. And it comes in untapped? Wow. Wow. It really is. Okay, we draw Ethereal Armor. So we're going to play an Ethereal Armor, draw a card. Now we could just draw like another Ethereal Armor or all that glitters. I used to play this in a modern deck a long time ago. That's not big enough to attack, and that's very disappointing to me. So play Glade Cover, play Basara Tower Archer, just for chump blocker. You never know, might need him. Arcanist's Owl. Opponent gets to bolster. They find an Alseid of Life's Bounty. No attacks. We draw Fortified Village. Very anticlimactic. We're going to play it, and we're going to play a Adanto Vanguard. Pass the turn. We really just need to chain a bunch of auras into like a massively huge Basara Tower Archer. There's a Heliod. No attacks from our opponent. We draw land. No attacks from us. Oh, I just saw Bo Daddy's subscription message. He said, I'll assault your loam. That's great. Gosh. Gidgeon of the Trials. Watching this and Die Hard at the same time. No better way to spend a Saturday night. Nice. Opponent attacks for 5. We'll take 5. You know, there was a game where we drew exactly one creature across like 9 turns and lost, and now we've drawn 6 creatures over 7 turns. And they had a way to take Sram. Sad face. Fire up Chad. Play an Alseid. Block here. Take 5. They give it lifelink. Put a 1/1 counter on Gideon. Alright. Now I know the game is laughing at me. We just drew the wrong half of the deck. Yeah, we'll go ahead and run it back. You took apart all of your decks other than the EH decks and bindered the value cards? Wow. Yeah, I can imagine. I, for a long time, was trying to foil out mono blue turns in Modern. But, like, the deck isn't really playable. I mean, it is playable, but it's not, like, good. Alright, we'll keep this. And I have a bunch of those cards, but I don't know what to do with them. We're going to put back a forest. Start plains, pass the turn. I have several times gone through, like, the bulk random that I have, and, like, each time a common from Modern, or some uncommon from Modern, like, shoots through the roof, and it's just like, great, now I have to go search through all of that random again. I'm considering it, because I have, like, some textless promo cryptics and things of that nature, but I don't know if I haven't totally decided if I want to get rid of them or not yet. Put an Ethereal Armor on it. Pass the turn. I guess we could have attacked there, but... Aren't we having fun? Play Basara Tower Archer. Play Sentinel's Eyes. Pass the turn. Oh, that's pretty sweet. If you find the like the right period of cards buying a collection that someone's just trying to get rid of, like, you can make some serious money. Get in the air, gain some life. Deafening Silence is kind of annoying because it prevents us from, like, draw chaining auras, but at the same time, we don't necessarily have to do that to win. Oh, man. This headphones hurt my ears for some reason. That sounds cool. I own, I think, 1 or 2 cards from Alpha. Mainly because there's an artist with the same first name as me that did some art for Alpha. And my first name is kind of unique. Oh, yeah? I do, like, for the majority, like, I don't like a lot of the old land art, but, like, Alpha and Beta Islands and stuff, I actually really enjoy. Alright, it's just going to take one more turn of no Heliod and one more Aura, and maybe we'll get there. Freaking Heliod! Every time! But they can't combo off yet. Oh, yes they can. Never mind. What am I saying? If we had First Strike, if that had been an Ethereal Armor, and not an all that glitters, our opponent would not have been able to make this play and win the game. This is the unluckiest Bogles League I have ever done. Alright, well, I'm not going to make my opponent sit here and stack a trillion triggers, so... How annoying. We went 1 and 4. We should have been 3 and 2. Ugh. All in all, I still think this deck is really good. It's also very cheap. And if I had the option of playing that, like, if I had to play this to play Pioneer, I would play this. So I recommend it.